Hello, everybody. It is the CoBro brothers, the Co-op brothers. Cloudy Chip TV is here, about to display his class, and I am Mag, which is going to showcase mine in a minute. Wanted to get into it with him and see his. We're going to talk about the mediums right now. That's Cloudy's number one class he likes to play. Cloudy, talk to me. What's up, brother? Chilling, chilling, chilling. Give me your breakdown
Hey,
here
what's
on what
going
you
on,
got
man?
and what you're using and what you're seeing so far in this game. It's still brand new, so we're working through it.
Yeah, so I played a couple hours. I think I'm like 10 hours in, 12 hours in, but it's just right now currently in still in some development stages because I still have some stuff to unlock, which we're still in the work in progress. But as far as my build is concerned, medium class I like it for a couple reasons. One, it has the jump pad, which allows me to get on top of buildings a little bit quicker at higher places without having to take zip, and it allows me to get out of really tough situations. So that's one of the reasons why I love this build so much is the jump pad and also the defibrillator. It allows you to revive an enemy quickly if you have it fully loaded. So basically, you can load it up and then run to a downed opponent, and then your downed partner, and then be able to get them back up and alive and be able to
Big
get back
time.
into combat with you. And that can basically save you games a ton of the time. As far as my specialization, there's three specializations. I haven't unlocked the torrent yet, but healing beam is the first one you actually get when you play the class, and it's more of like a team player build. It's almost like a medic class because you can actually, if you decide to stick with your team, or let's say you do use your
Yeah, it's
defibrillator and bring
50% health
somebody to
when you do
life,
the defibrillator. If you
sometimes they
revive them
won't always
regular, it's
come back with full
100%.
health, and being able and yeah, so basically what will happen is that they'll be still, needing some help, and you'll be able to heal them as soon as you revive them to kind of get them up and going instead of them having to wait it out and then possibly even be downed again. So that kind of helps. Or like if you have your, say you're running behind a heavy class and the heavy class is getting shot, you have him throw up his shield. You can kind of heal him up as he's shielding, protecting you and protecting himself, and you can be able to be a team player in that way. So there's kind of some good things that you can do with the healing beam. But I decided to go with something a little bit more aggressive, the recon senses. So yes, it doesn't heal, but it allows you to move around the map a little bit easier because you can kind of see where enemies are kind of pushing from. So let's say I were to decide to hold a point, I can kind of say, okay, I'll be back. I'm gonna go up onto the roof real quick, and I can scope out the area, and I can also hit my recon, and if I hit it, it gives you a certain amount of time before and you can hit it, stop it as many times as you want. So let's say you just want a quick detection, you can just hit it and then see quickly who's in the area, and then you can stop it, and it'll kind of refill it back up. So you don't have to have it fully just using all your recon sensors. You can use it strategically depending on how you want to play, or depending if it's how much of it is necessary, right? So recon sensors is good because I like to know where enemies are at. I like to know where they're pushing from, so we can kind of protect that side. Um, and I can kind of call it out while we're in play. As far as my weapons concerned, I guess there's a couple weapons that you get here. You get, of course, your revolver. You have your F car, riot shield, and these other ones I haven't played with yet. This F car is this revolver is a little bit slow shooting, so you get a mag size of 6. The reload's really slow on it, but it does hit really hard. But there's some risks that you take with that. So if you get into really close combat, it's gonna take a couple shots, and you have to hit your shots in order for this thing to even be playable, right? So I don't use that. I use the AK. And the reason why I choose to use, I kind of go back and forth between the F car and the AK. One of the biggest reasons is because F car you get a bigger mag size, and the reload speed is pretty quick. But it allows you to stay in gunfights a little bit longer in case you're missing shots. If somebody's pushing up and you're playing close range and you're missing a lot of your hip fire, or you're shooting from a far distance and you're missing a couple of your shots, you can kind of still kind of peek it and still continue to put pressure with your gun without having to worry about reloading. Now, if you go over to the F car, you have a smaller mag size instead of 36. You got a mag size of 20, but you do get to hit harder from further. So that's one of the good thing, and you also get a scope on it. So it's a couple of advantages. One, you get a scope, you get to see people a little bit easier from a distance, but you also get to hit a little bit harder. Um, the only downside to it is that even though you got a fast reload speed, it's faster than the AK. You do only get a max size of 20. So you have to kind of you still gotta hit your shots. So that's why I kind of stick with the AK a little bit more because if I do miss shots, it's a little bit more forgiving. It's not as much forgiving with the F card, so you have to be a little bit more accurate, right? One of the also perks that I got, one of the weapons and gadgets that I got is it's gonna be the frag grenade, and there's still a couple ones that I want to try out. One of them being the explosive mine that I have not unlocked yet. It's probably one of my favorite ones that I want to get my hands on. Um, it's gonna be the explosive mine because you can throw it near the points, and then a lot of times when people are just rushing into rooms and they're not really paying attention, it can kind of hurt them. And if you throw one or two, they can really get you put in some damage and kind of protect it without even being present. But the next thing too of having explosive mines, which is why it's one of my favorite that I want to actually unlock, and I might just do that today, is going to be because you can actually make way in buildings. So like you can be on the top floor, throw a couple two mines down on the floor, and you can explode them and make a whole big hole in on the floor and be able to go into the second floor. Like you can kind of make your own path with that. Frag kind of does the same thing in some aspects, but it bounces and you don't get more accurate precision like explosions like you would want. But the frag is really good because you can actually still be at a building further away. You see an enemy team kind of trying to take over maybe a point. You can kind of throw a couple grenades over there and kind of get them scattered away from that area. So you kind of, gives you an opportunity to kind of rush them, right? Or even better, you can actually use it to, distract them. So like say you push it from a point, you can throw it at a wall, make an explosion in the wall, and make another way for yourself. Take a couple shots, go around the building, and go into that same wall. You just blast it open, right? So there's kind of some strategic element that you can use with the
Gotcha.
frag, but it's kind of the most basic one. So I kind of went with that. And then of course we have the gas mine. Gas is always good, and pyro grenades, and I have these in my reserves, just in case I kind of feel like depending on the team that we're playing, maybe this frag is not working out so good. I'll say we can switch it up. I'll throw a gas mine instead, and kind of put that on certain points to allow for them to kind of stay away from that area. Of course, you don't die right away in the gas. You can kind of take some damage, so some people might risk it, and it might not, they might not worry so much or get scared so much with the gas, but it does, kind of keep people like questioning, like, oh, where are they, and oh, should we push that right now or should we wait? And if they decide to wait, gives your team more of an opportunity to kind of take them out and regain position, right? So that's kind of another reason why I have that there, depending on the teams that we're playing. And pyro grenade and flashbang, they're just kind of your ordinary. So flashbang allows them not to see, they get blinded from it, and they're not able to focus their aim as much when they're actually flashed. It lasts like about 2 seconds, 3 seconds before they're kind of like back conscious and being able to be able to see and move around normally. But depending if you're pushing a room or something, you can kind of throw one or two flashes in there, and it gives you that 1 or 2, 3 seconds of to be able to push in that room real quick and take them out, right? And land the first couple shots, because the first couple shots is always crucial, especially if you're hitting headshots. So it's kind of good to have something in case you're playing in a map that has a lot of the points inside rooms. So you're gonna always swap that out. And then pyro grenade, it's kind of like the gas mine. You don't die right away from it, but you do take damage. And because as a fire grenade, even when you're away from the fire, you still tend to take burn damage, which is good, especially when you have an enemy that's kind of almost down. You throw that down. You end up throwing the pyro grenade. Even if they get hurt by it and they think they're safe, it's, they're not gonna be able to shake that off in time, and they can probably even it could cost them a down. And then if the other player tries to go and revive them, they have to make sure they don't hit the flames, right? So they have to use a different route. So it kind of helps with building like walls, to allow teams to take a little bit longer to push to you, especially if they have to go a different route. So that's my explanation on my build, and this is what I've been running so far. I haven't tried heavy and light, but this is what I've been
Yeah.
running now. Once we get this one fully build the way I want it to be. Then
Gotcha.
we'll kind of
I
switch
appreciate
over
it,
and
man.
we'll
That was
try out
a
some other builds.
very
We'll try out the light
detailed
and heavy
explanation.
builds.
Now, for a quick tips for anybody watching that I want to break down, you're gonna look at my setup here, and this is more pro player focused, specifically for one reason: the specialization healing beam is a must-have if you're a medium, unless you have a second medium in the team. As long as one person on your team is running healing beam, then you can do what Cloudy has, which is the recon sensor, because it's more aggressive and it's more informational, which is nice. But a lot of the top players are playing with the healing beam when they're playing medium, because it's going to keep their team alive. In this game, once you get wiped, you're pretty much done. You're out of the fight for a while, and you don't want that. So that's the first recommendation on from what Cloudy was saying. Everything was talking about the guns. Definitely the AKM and of course the FCAR are great. Jump pad is a no question. That's very easy. I will say, just to add to that, the zip lines are very critical as well, and you can actually break them off when you get to a high ground so that nobody can get up with you. You throw it up and then you'll just melee it twice and it'll be gone forever. Nobody can climb to where you were, and your team can hold some high grounds, an objective or whatever, and forcing people to go upstairs or do something different. Talking about what everything that Cloudy talked about, I wanted to point out that there's different methods to play, but one of the most important things is to understand that in the game, you're controlling objectives or you're trying to take objectives. If we're controlling the objectives, you're going to use the gas mines or any type of mines or traps, and that's going to basically stall the enemies. The environmental ones are super critical, like gas or fire, because that stalls for a multiple amount of time and people don't want to be in there for long, and that's going to be very critical. But if you don't want to be focused on just setting traps, and you can do the opposite using the environmental grenades, which the pyro grenade, for example, gas grenades are very incredible as well, because that's going to stall people. Let's say we capture the zone and me and Claudia are going to hold the roof across the next building and let them get in there if they want, but we have the roof open and we're going to throw our grenades and things in there as they try to steal it, and they'll end up dying, getting killed with our items, with the environment, with the elemental damage that's caused for at least 5-10 seconds depending on which one you throw. With that said, the reason why I was talking about the healing beam first on top of that is because I have sonar grenades, which are basically the same thing as the sensors, the recon sensors, but I can use them consistently over and over and over because they keep on refreshing every couple seconds, every 30 seconds or whatever it is. And that's a way to replace that if you don't have a secondary medium to be the one with the recon sensor. So that's the setup there, and I don't disagree with anything Claudia was saying. I'm just adding some pro tips and tricks and things like that. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. We're gonna hopefully do a lot more, some gameplay stuff and other stuff. Appreciate y'all. Peace.